Hey guys, welcome back to Meant for Greater. Today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my absolute most favorite books written on how to get what you want in life. This book was self-published by the author in 1925. The thing that I love about these books that were written so long ago is the information in them is still valid to this day because the principles never change. The book is called The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. When I first read this book, it opened my eyes to the responsibility we have to ourselves better than any other book, which is why I'm so excited to share it with you and offer my insights. If you come from a religious background, she speaks from and quotes the Bible throughout, giving great insight into the meaning of certain verses and how they apply, but not in a preachy, religious sort of way. Whatever your personal thoughts and beliefs are on religion, whether good, bad, or indifferent, I ask that you listen with an open mind. First, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, it really helps the algorithm suggest my videos to more people. If you are already subscribed, thank you. If you are not, thank you for being here. Okay, let's jump right in. Chapter 1, The Game. Most people consider life a battle, but it is not a battle, it is a game. It is a game, however, which cannot be played successfully without the knowledge of spiritual law, and the Old and the New Testament give the rules of the game with wonderful clearness. Jesus Christ taught that it was a great game of giving and receiving. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. This means that whatever man sends out in word or deed will return to him. What he gives, he will receive. If he gives hate, he will receive hate. If he gives love, he will receive love. If he gives criticism, he will receive criticism. If he lies, he will be lied to. If he cheats, he will be cheated. We are taught also that the imaging faculty plays a leading part in the game of life. Keep thy heart, or imagination, with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Proverbs 4:23. This means that what man images sooner or later externalizes in his affairs. I know of a man who feared a certain disease. It was a very rare disease and difficult to get, but he pictured it continually and read about it until it manifested in his body, and he died, the victim of a distorted imagination. So we see, to play successfully the game of life, we must train the imaging faculty. A person with an imaging faculty trained to image only good brings into his life every righteous desire of his heart: health, wealth, love, friends, perfect self-expression, his highest ideals. Guys, this is the very basic fundamental concept of the law of attraction. Getting what you want in life starts with giving what you want. Hold in your mind the picture of that which you desire rather than the picture of that which you do not want. One will come to you. It's a matter of which one you place your attention on. The imagination has been called the scissors of the mind, and it is ever cutting day by day the pictures man sees there, and sooner or later he meets his own creations in his outer world. To train the imagination successfully, man must understand the workings of his mind. The Greeks said, "Know thyself." There are 3 departments of the mind: the subconscious, the conscious, and the superconscious. The subconscious is simply power without direction. It's like steam or electricity. It does what it is directed to do. It has no power of induction. Whatever man feels deeply or images clearly is impressed upon the subconscious mind and carried out in the minutest detail. For example, a woman I know, when a child, always made believe she was a widow. She dressed up in black clothes and wore a long black veil, and people thought she was very clever and amusing. She grew up and married a man with whom she was deeply in love. In a short time he died, and she wore black and sweeping veil for many years. The picture of herself as a widow was impressed upon the subconscious mind, and in due time worked itself out, regardless of the havoc it created. We've talked about how making believe can do absolute wonders for you if you do it correctly. I did a whole video on exactly that. She continues. The conscious mind has been called mortal or carnal mind. It is the human mind and sees life as it appears to be. It sees death, disaster, sickness, poverty, and limitation of every kind, and it impresses the subconscious mind. The superconscious mind is the God mind within each man, and it is the realm of perfect ideas. In it is the perfect pattern spoken of by Plato. The divine design, for there is a divine design for each person. There is a place that you are to fill and no one else can fill, something you are to do which no one else can do. There is a perfect picture of the superconscious mind. It usually flashes across the conscious as an unattainable ideal, something too good to be true. In reality, it's man's true destiny or destination flashed to him from the infinite intelligence which is within himself. Guys, if you have something that interests you so much, but you believe you may fail at it or that you couldn't possibly be the one to do it, this is something that you should be pursuing. This was put in you as a desire for a reason. It's because you are the one that needs to do it. Too often we pursue things that are not our true desire. She continues. Many people, however, are in ignorance of their true destinies and are striving for things and situations which do not belong to them and would only bring failure and dissatisfaction if attained. For example, a woman came to me and asked me to speak the word that she would marry a certain man with whom she was very much in love. She called him A.B. I replied that it would be a violation of spiritual law, but that I would speak the word for the right man, the divine selection, the man who belonged to her by divine right. I added, if A.B. is the right man, you can't lose him, and if he isn't, you will receive his equivalent. She saw A.B. frequently, but no headway was made in their friendship. One evening she called and said, "Do you know, for the last week, A.B. hasn't seemed so wonderful to me." I replied, "Maybe he's not the divine selection. Another man might be the right one." Soon after that, she met another man who fell in love with her at once, and who said she was his ideal. In fact, he said all the things that she had always wished A.B. would say to her. She remarked it was quite uncanny. She soon returned his love and lost all interest in A.B. Let's stop right there for a moment. I want you all to digest what happened here with this woman and see how it could relate to something in your own life. She was stuck on one person and wanting that specific person to return her love, but that person was not the correct person for the job. Once she let go, got out of the way, and allowed infinite intelligence to do its thing, that is when everything worked out so much better for her. I know that a lot of law of attraction coaches focus on getting a specific person, but I would ask, do you really want that person if they are not the correct person? Something to think about. We continue. This shows the law of substitution. A right idea was substituted for a wrong one. Therefore, there was no loss or sacrifice involved. Jesus Christ said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." And he said the kingdom was within man. The kingdom is the realm of right ideas, or the divine pattern. Jesus Christ taught that man's words played a leading part in the game of life. By your words ye are justified, and by your words ye are condemned. Many people have brought disaster into their lives through idle words. For example, a woman once asked me why her life was now one of poverty and limitation. Formerly, she had a home, was surrounded by beautiful things, and had often tired of the management of her home, and had said repeatedly, "I'm sick and tired of things. I wish I lived in a trunk." And she added, "Today I'm living in that trunk." She had spoken herself into a trunk. The subconscious mind has no sense of humor, and people often joke themselves into unhappy experiences. This is a very important thing to note. Many people will make jokes or use self-deprecating humor when speaking of themselves or the things in their lives. They don't realize that they're telling their subconscious mind these things, and the subconscious mind works to fulfill those idle jokes. She offers this next example. A woman who had a great deal of money joked continually about getting ready for the poorhouse. In a few years, she was almost destitute, having impressed the subconscious mind with a picture of lack and limitation. Fortunately, the law works both ways, and a situation of lack may be changed to one of plenty. For example, a woman came to me one hot summer's day for a treatment for prosperity. She was worn out, dejected, and discouraged. She said she possessed just $8 in the world. I said, "Good, we'll bless the $8 and multiply them as Jesus Christ multiplied the loaves and fishes. For he taught that every man has the power to bless and multiply, to heal and to prosper." She said, "What shall I do next?" I replied, "Follow intuition. Have you a hunch to do anything or to go anywhere?" Intuition means intuition or to be taught from within. It is man's unerring guide, and I will deal more fully with its laws in a following chapter. The woman replied, "I don't know. I seem to have a hunch to go home. I have just enough money for car fare." Her home was in a distant city and was one of lack and limitation, and the reasoning mind or intellect would have said, "Stay in New York and get work and make some money." I replied, "Then go home. Never violate a hunch." I spoke the following words to her: "Infinite Spirit, open the way for great abundance for her name. She is an irresistible magnet for all that belongs to her by divine right." I told her to repeat it continually also. She left for home immediately. In calling on a woman one day, she linked up with an old friend of her family. Through this friend, she received thousands of dollars in a most miraculous way. She has often said to me, "Tell people about the woman who came to you with $8 and a hunch." I try to find ways to apply this every day, and it can be difficult to do if we're wrapped up in our current reality, but it's important to take time to be present enough to recognize these intuitions and hunches. She continues, "There is always plenty on man's pathway, but it can only be brought into manifestation through desire, faith, or the spoken word. Jesus Christ brought out clearly that man must make the first move. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you." Matthew 7:7. In the scriptures we read, "Concerning the works of my hands, command ye me." Infinite intelligence, God, is ever ready to carry out man's smallest or greatest demands. Every desire uttered or unexpressed is a demand. We are often startled by having a wish suddenly fulfilled. For example, one Easter, having seen many beautiful rose trees in the florist windows, I wished I would receive one, and for an instant saw it mentally being carried in the door. Easter came, and with it a beautiful rose tree. I thanked my friend the following day and told her it was just what I had wanted. She replied, "I didn't send you a rose tree. I sent you lilies." The man had mixed the order and sent me a rose tree simply because I had started the law in action, and I had to have a rose tree. Nothing stands between man and his highest ideals and every desire of his heart, but doubt and fear. When man can wish without worrying, every desire will be instantly fulfilled. It didn't matter what her friend sent her. It didn't matter because she wanted a rose tree. The universe knew this, and it caused it to happen. Okay, guys, to keep this video from going too long, I'm going to finish reading out the last few paragraphs of this chapter. I will explain more fully in a following chapter the scientific reason for this, and fear must be erased from the consciousness. It's man's only enemy. Fear of lack, fear of failure, fear of sickness, fear of loss, and a feeling of insecurity on some plane. Jesus Christ said, "Why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith?" Matthew 8:26. So we can see that we must substitute faith for fear is only inverted faith. It is faith in evil instead of good. The object of the game of life is to see clearly one's good and obliterate all mental pictures of evil. This must be done by impressing the subconscious mind with a realization of good. A very brilliant man who has attained great success told me that he suddenly erased all fear from his consciousness by reading a sign which hung in a room. He saw printed in large letters this statement, "Why worry? It will probably never happen." These words were stamped indelibly upon his subconscious mind, and he has now a firm conviction that only good can come into his life. Therefore, only good can manifest. In the following chapter, I will deal with the different methods of impressing the subconscious mind. It is man's faithful servant, but one must be careful to give it the right orders. Man has ever a silent listener at his side, his subconscious mind. Every thought, every word is impressed upon it and carried out in amazing detail. It is like a singer making a record on the sensitive disc of the phonograph plate. Every note and tone of the singer's voice is registered. If he coughs or hesitates, it is registered also. So let us break all the old bad records in the subconscious mind, the records of our lives, which we do not wish to keep, and make new and beautiful ones. Speak these words aloud, with power and conviction. I now smash and demolish by my spoken word every untrue record in my subconscious mind. They shall return to the dust heap of their native nothingness, for they came from my own vain imaginings. I now make my perfect records through the Christ within, the records of health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression. This is the square of life, the game completed. In the following chapters, I will show how man can change his conditions by changing his words. Any man who does not know the power of the word is behind the times. Death and life are the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. This has been Chapter 1 of The Game of Life and How to Play It. Guys, I can't tell you how excited this book makes me. I'm so happy to be able to share it with you. The way Florence Scovel Shinn writes speaks to me in a way that other writers just don't. She leaves me with the impression that anything is possible and that anybody can do this. I hope you get the same magic from these videos. We will continue our series as this book just gets better and better. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like on this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on every new video we post. I will talk with you soon.